Hey guys, this is Chaplain Bruce Duty. I'm here with Colonel Craig Martin. He is the new Garrison Commander here at Fort Hamilton in New York City. So glad that you're tuning in. We have in recent days, we've had a few interviews here to help us tap into Army's Readiness and Resilience campaign because being ready and resilient is important to us as soldiers and to our families and to our Army community. So, sir, thank you so much for being here today.
I'm happy to be here, Chaplain. Thank you.
Well, sir, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and then we'll just go from there.
Okay.
So, first of all, I know you're a Texas A&M football fan. I know you like to run. So those are great activities. What other kind of activity do you like to do to stay healthy and fit?
Well, as you well know better than a lot of people, fitness means a number of things, right? So there's physical fitness, and I do love to run, as you mentioned. I also go on walks with my wife. It almost sounds, trite, but the opportunity to get the time my wife and I need with each other. She's my best friend and my life partner, and to be able to kind of decompress and take in the environment, the surroundings, and then just the conversations. With a walk, you have enough time to kind of get to where you need to get on whatever you want to talk about. I think that's an important part of fitness. And then, believe it or not, my best friend, we used to ride into work. We'll have a little less of that here, but we used to joke that we'd ride into work and talk, and we'd solve the world's problems 10 times over in that ride into work. And so having a confidant, a best friend, someone you care for, your spouse, that you can have an open and honest conversation with and truly share how you feel, I believe is important in getting things off your mind, off your chest, and being at ease with where you are and what you believe. And those people, the best part of them, they care for you and they love you, and they listen, and that sometimes is all you need, and that helps. And then also for fitness, I just like to read. I'm a reader, although my eyes are not helping me read as much as I'd like to these days, so for shorter periods of time. But to open my eyes to the way other people see the world and key topics and ideas, I try and read with an open mind so that I can appreciate another person's perspective.
That's good. Well, my wife and I love to read as well. I know you're going to be extremely happy to get your family up here. It's obvious that you love each other and you love them very much. I'm curious. So when they get here and you're in New York City, the Big Apple, what's one, maybe two places you're really excited to go see together as a family?
Well, I'd say there's a couple things. My sons, I'm bringing my two sons up here with me, Callahan and Garrett, and we love history and we love exploring historic sites. So we're definitely going to go see Trinity Church. We want to go up to West Point. I have my nephew Kate up there, and my brother-in-law Sean attended West Point as well. So lots to see up there as well. So some of the historical perspectives that New York brings, and some of the fantastic memorials and Lady Liberty, we'll have to get out and see her as well. And then, having lived in Europe, my wife and I really appreciate good food. Foodies, as everybody uses. New York City, I am certain, has plenty to offer as far as food and culture, and so we're really looking forward to explore that. And a lot of it's right outside our front gate here in Bay Ridge, on 3rd and 4th Street, so that we can walk out the gate and go explore the world in New York City and in Bay Ridge and Brooklyn. So,
well, your listeners or watchers here are going to have plenty of advice for you. When we got here, I had all kinds of advice on where to go eat. So you mentioned Europe. 31 years in the Army. Here you are in New York City. Do you have a favorite assignment, and why?
Well, all bets are on this being it, but I would tell you, my wife and I would both agree that our favorite assignment was to a place called Armstrong Barracks in Büdingen, Germany, where we were the it was a cavalry squadron, Black Hawk, and we were the only squadron on the Kaserne, and so it was a very small community, probably about the same size as Fort Hamilton. And so because of the size, it really brought our community together. And of course, we deployed in Iraqi Freedom 1, and that brought the community tighter together. But it was the same concept, the close neighbors, the tight-knit bond of the community to come together and spend time with each other, the beautiful town and wonderful things to do right out the front gate. And because of that, we have lifelong friends to this day. We still are in touch with, and they're dear friends. I mean, from professional friendships, from both enlisted and officer, to my daughter's godparents, who, by the grace of God, lived upstairs in our stairwell housing. And when I was gone for 15 months, Craig and Amy Taylor, who was our Kaserne doctor, looked after my wife and my 2-year-old daughter, and it was wonderful, and the timing was perfect, and it all worked out for us. But to this day, that's by far our favorite assignment. Now, not to say we don't love Texas, because we spent the last 9 years, oddly enough, as a soldier in Georgetown, Texas, and that's not really an Army base, but the city of Georgetown has been good to us, and we will eventually retire and go back to Georgetown, and so that is our home away from home for the next 2 years. And my mother-in-law lives there, and we'll get back there.
Great. Outside of Austin?
Yes, it's North Austin, about halfway in between Fort Hood, the great place, and Austin, Texas.
Yeah. Well, so you were talking about favorite assignment, which is location, but you keep bringing up relationships. So relationships obviously are important to you, which is very important because you're our leader here, our commander and leader. Let me ask you one more question, please, sir. So managing and leading, speaking of relationships, are different from one another. I know you know that. Managing is a necessity, of course, but leadership is a necessity. If you were to think or say make one distinction between managing and leading, what would be one distinction you would make?
It's one very key, important, critical distinction, and that's people. The Army's number one priority is taking care of its people, and that's from the Chief of Staff. And the vision of Fort Hamilton begins and ends with people. It's about our team being professionals, and it starts with that, and ends with the culture of the Army being our foundation for all we do. And really, to answer your question, the difference between managing and leading is people, and focusing on people to ensure that you understand your team, your squad, the people that come in and out of your office every day, and who they are, what's important to them, what they value, and how you can make their lives better, whether it's personally or professionally, to train them and accommodate them in a way that allows them to excel in their job every day. So it's not just about the bottom line and making money. It's about achieving success through the individuals that make up our Army team, and that's leading. I'm okay at it, and I hope I get better at it. It starts with understanding the problem, and it's not a problem. It's who we are, and people and our teammates make us who we can be, and makes us better at our job. Because alone we're okay, but as a team we succeed.
You mentioned that you're getting better. What area would you like to get better in leadership when you're here?
I have spent, as you mentioned, 31 years in the Army, which has been predominantly in tactical units in what we say the division or corps and below. And so, there's different leadership styles you use with people, and so I've spent most of my career with green suiters or active duty Army officers and enlisted soldiers, and they are fantastic, and the opportunity to lead them has been fantastic. But here at the Fort Hamilton Garrison, the room that we're sitting in with the soldiers we have here is pretty close to all the soldiers that I will lead. And our workforce on the installation team is a lot of dedicated civilians, and they're great Americans too, and they want to do what's best for our community here at Fort Hamilton and our Army, but they are different because they're Department of the Army civilians. And so I need to understand them better, and I need to understand the systems and processes that allow them to succeed and do what they do on a daily basis. From counseling to evaluations to rewards to promotions and everything about how they succeed. I've been introduced to those, and I need to do better at learning all that, and I will over the next 2 years in order to make our team a successful team on Fort Hamilton.
Well, sir, I know you will. You will succeed. We're happy to have you here. We're happy to have Sergeant Major McCabe here, a great command team and leadership team here on Fort Hamilton. So we're looking forward to it. I know our community is as well. Thank you for coming by the chapel today and for being a part of this interview today.
It's my pleasure. I'd love to come back. Hopefully I can come up with some more creative answers in a year when I've hopefully learned a few things, and I can share that with you and our community.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining in. Y'all take care. God bless you all out there. And again, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye-bye.